Perhaps the most important lesson in Chapter 8 is reconciling the bank account. So at the end of the month, we get a bank statement that says we have X dollars in the bank. We look at our checkbook, it says we have Y dollars, and we have to explain that difference and then adjust our books to reflect anything that we learned in that process. Your book talks about 4 steps. I like to say we tell the bank statement what it doesn't know, we tell our books what they don't know, and when everybody has all the facts, we end up with the same amount of money in the bank. So let's run through exercise 8-11. It's pretty short and sweet. The facts tell us that the balance per the bank statement is $7,263. But what the bank statement doesn't know is that we've made some deposits that, due to timing differences, haven't shown up yet on the bank statement. So we have to add deposits in transit. That's a good thing to memorize. Add deposits in transit. Deposits in transit were $1,500. These are deposits that we made, but they're still in the mail, or they haven't shown up on the bank statement because the bank statement was July 31st and we made the deposit on August 1st, something like that. Similarly, the bank doesn't know about any checks that we've written that haven't hit them yet. So maybe we wrote some checks that haven't been cashed yet, or maybe we've written some checks that have been cashed that just haven't cleared our bank yet. So we have to subtract those outstanding checks. Good thing to memorize. First step, add deposits in transit, subtract outstanding checks. And when we do that, we end up with an adjusted balance of 8172. 7263 plus deposits in transit minus outstanding checks gives us an adjusted balance of 8172. Hopefully we'll get the same adjusted balance when we adjust our books. So the balance per our books is 7284. It tells us in the facts. And then this only happens in accounting class. Somebody owed us $900 plus $36 worth of interest. The bank went out and collected that note for us and put that money right into our bank account. This is in every accounting class. Every accounting book has this fact situation. It really doesn't happen in real life. But what's happened is we now have an extra $916 in our bank account. The $900 that the party owed us in principal, plus $36 in interest, minus a $20 service charge the bank charged us. So we have to add that $916 to the balance on our books. If we earned interest, we'd also add that in here too. And we also have to subtract the monthly service charge, $28. And so the adjusted balance is the 8172, the 9284 plus the 916 minus the 28, or 8172. So our adjusted balance per the bank statement is 8172, and per our books is 8172. Now if we discovered any mistakes, bank mistakes get treated up here, pluses or minuses. Our errors, our mistakes, get treated down here, pluses or minuses. So we have to reflect the fact that we have some extra money in our bank account, so we have to make some adjusting journal entries. So we have an extra $916, debit cash for $916. They charged us a $20 service charge when they collected that note. Expense or debits, expense or debits, expense or debits. So we debit the expense account service charges for $20. We take that note receivable, which was an asset, we take that off our books, so we credit it for $900, and we book the revenue of $36. If expenses are debits, revenue must be credits because it's the opposite of expenses. We also have to take into account this $28 down here. So we have to book a $28 service charge for the monthly service charge. Expense or debits, expense or debits, expense or debits. So we debit service charges for $28 and we credit cash for $28 to reflect that our cash balance is down by $28. So to recap, reconciling the bank statement is about telling the bank statement the facts it doesn't know, telling our books the facts they don't know, and when everybody has all the facts, we should end up with exactly the same adjusted balance. We correct for bank errors in their half of the bank reconciliation and correct for our errors in our half of the bank reconciliation. And then we have to update our books to reflect any cash that came in that wasn't in our books before, or any cash that went out that wasn't in our books before. And that's all there is to the bank reconciliation. Your homework is a little bit longer and a little more complicated, but it's exactly the same process. Good luck!